I can't even. I don't even have words. I literally have no words.
But right now, this entire contract proves, and the contracts that Jim Rutherford and Patrick Allvin have signed from day one have proved they're out of touch with what reality is with the Vancouver Canucks. We are a bottom 10 team that are acting like we're a top 5 team. What I go, like,
you can't you literally can't trade everyone. That's such a stupid concept. That
to me,
so many fans are like, "Oh, we have to trade everybody. Trade the coach.
So 3 minutes ago, you rewind. Maybe this team's not good enough. How do you fix this team then if you're going to keep re-signing these core players?
Well, there never is. You and I have discussed this so many times. The CFL is their own worst enemy.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the June the 5th edition of the Hughes Sports Podcast. I am, of course, your host, Jake, and alongside with me is the old man. Old man, how the hell are you doing?
Easy for you to say. I'm doing freaking amazing.
It's a bit of an exciting day, so words are jumbly. This is probably one of the most excited I've ever been for a podcast. And that is for the gentleman that you have on the phone right now. Let's just introduce him, get right to the points.
Sounds good to me. Do you want me to do the introduction, or do you want to do the introduction?
No, you can do the introduction.
We have the absolute honor of having a CFL living legend. That's what I refer to him as. He has won 2 Grey Cups. He has 6 All-Star awards. He's only the 14th player to ever record over 10,000 yards in the CFL in his career. None other than Arland Bruce III. Buddy, how are you?
Oh, man, what an introduction. Boy, I thought I was coming out the tunnel. I appreciate the introduction.
Oh, I got goosebumps on that one, buddy.
Oh, man, thank you so much. I appreciate that. Thank you.
You're more than welcome. Thank you for taking the time to come on our podcast. You have to understand, both Jake and I are diehard BC Lions fan. Matter of fact, 2011, when you won the Grey Cup with the BC Lions, we drove down. We got the family van. We drove down from Calgary to Vancouver in the middle of November to watch the CFL final, the Western final.
Oh yeah.
It was.
We played Calgary, and then we played Winnipeg in the championship.
Yeah.
That's right. So Jake, why don't you hit him up? Start us off with some questions for Arland.
Yeah. So Arland, first off, thank you so much for taking the time to be on the show, because it's a huge honor to have someone of your caliber on the show. But honestly, you are a true born and bred American. Grew up, I'm assuming, watching the NFL. When your agent or whoever it was who came to you about the CFL, what was that conversation like? How did that conversation go?
Yeah, actually, what happened, Warren Moon, everybody know who Warren Moon is, right?
Oh, yeah.
So I was in training camp with the Kansas City Chiefs my rookie year, and Warren Moon, I asked him about, somebody was talking about the CFL, and Warren Moon used to say, Bruce, every day, because our lockers was right next to each other, because I wore number 6, he wore number 1. And I came up to him one day. I said, my dad used to watch you all the time in the Canadian Football League. And we just started talking about the CFL, and he told me stories about it. And I was like excited about the stories he was telling me.
Nice.
And then when I got released from the Kansas City, my agent asked me, hey, would you like to go to Saskatchewan or would you like to go to Winnipeg? And I didn't know anything about Saskatchewan, and he also told me that Winnipeg was near Minnesota, where I went to college at. So I said, oh, that's perfect. I would love to go continue playing football. I'll go to Winnipeg. Because I didn't know anything about the CFL. This is what Warren Moon told me.
Nice.
And it worked out. And I remember I slept at Canada Stadium one night when I first got to the field, because it kind of reminded me of my junior college. I played junior college at Hutchinson Community College, and the stadiums were similar: Forest Scott, Coffeyville, Dodge City, Butler, all these junior college schools. The stadium reminded me of that.
Nice.
So I said, this is where I'm taking my career, you know. And I had talked to Warren Moon and my agent, James Bach.
Nice.
Sorry to cut you off, man. That actually cuts in. I reached out to lovely members of the CFL Reddit to ask some questions, and someone asked, what was it like to be a wide receiver in a room with Milt Stegall, Geroy Simon, and yourself?
Oh my God!
Like, that is a all-star cast of receivers.
Well, you know what? When I was in Winnipeg, Milt Stegall and Geroy Simon wasn't there in 2001 when I was with Winnipeg. It was Milt Stegall and Jamie Stoddard, Bobby Gordon, Marcus Howell, Antonio Brown, not the Antonio Brown from the Steelers, but you know, Jeff Jover, guys like that, you know. So I learned from Milt how to play the game. Milt and a few, Jamie Stoddard, those guys showed me how to do the waggle, you know, and La Police, Coach Gibson, Dave Ritchie.
Nice.
So all these guys, McGriggs, Jerron Bolden, Doug Brown, the list goes on. If you look at our roster in 2001, I felt like I was still with the Kansas City Chiefs coming to Winnipeg because of the caliber of players and the coaching staff that we had in Winnipeg. I felt like I was at home. The only thing changed was the salary. But I was like, man, I could live up here. You know, but of course our dreams are always to make it in the NBA or the NFL.
Well, of course.
That was my dream, of course. But I was just happy to have the opportunity to play football. And Canada and Winnipeg welcomed me with open arms, man, and they accepted me, and I couldn't turn it down. I love Canada to this day.
Well, obviously, you. When did you retire? What year did you retire?
Well, I haven't officially retired, but my last year playing was with Montreal in 2014, 13.
So it's been it's been a decade, and you're still hanging around Canada. You're in Vancouver now, aren't you?
Currently in Vancouver, yes, sir.
Very cool. That's my hometown. Gotta like it.
Yeah. So, yeah, I have my citizenship here. Hopefully, you know, they just had their strike, so everything got backlogged. And, yeah, I'm working to become a citizen of Canada.
That is.
I'm really excited about what I learned in the last couple of years, and that's the 7-8 NHL teams. I've really been paying attention to hockey.
Nice.
You know, watching the Ryan Peterson show, that's really kept me up to speed, because when hockey starts growing in America, like in Atlanta and, you know, urban areas, it's going to be something to talk about in the next 10, 15 years.
Oh, for sure.
So I'm excited about all these sports that's going on, especially with the Ryan Peterson show. That's how I met you, and hopefully we continue our relationship.
Well, definitely. Now, we got to ask, what's your favorite hockey team?
My favorite hockey team, I don't have a favorite hockey team, but, you know, I was living in Edmonton a couple of years ago after the pandemic, and I was working at the Canadian Brew House doing security and being a host. And for some reason, I just started liking the Edmonton Oilers. You know, I started following them.
Nice.
And, you know, that series with the Calgary Flames, it was exciting because I was working and people were getting drunk and giving me extra tips. So it was even great. You know what I mean? So that was the fun part about it. But I don't have a favorite team. I really enjoy all the games because I'm still learning the game. So I'm excited to see all 7 teams. There's 7 teams, correct? 7 teams.
In the Canadian teams.
Canadian teams, correct.
I think that's right.
I never really
Yes, that is correct.
other teams in America as far as hockey.
Yeah.
I went to a hockey college, though, hockey and wrestling school in Minnesota.
What school did you go to in Minnesota?
University of Minnesota.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Nice. And
I went to school with Brock Lesnar.
I was just going to say, I was about to ask you that because I know University of Minnesota is where Brock Lesnar's from, and I was going to bring it up.
Yeah, I seen Brock Lesnar one time when I was coming from Winnipeg one year, my first year. I said, Brock, what's up, man? Because I remember he came out for football and the pads were too small for him. He couldn't fit none of the pads.
He's a big man.
Yeah, he's a big man now.
No doubt. So how many years did you play in Winnipeg?
I played 2 seasons in Winnipeg. 2001, we went to the Grey Cup. Harry Jones was MVP that year. He had a phenomenal year.
I remember it.
2002, Mel Stiegler won MVP. And we went to the playoffs, and both of our star players got hurt. Milt and Charles both got hurt.
Oh, right.
Triple team, and we had a terrible game.
We had a terrible game.
It was tough. We couldn't do anything. Milt was out, and Charles was out. Blink. Oh, man, what can you do?
That's awesome. So in Winnipeg, right across the old arena, or the old stadium, right across the street was the Canadian.
Yeah.
Do you remember the bar at the Canadian?
Tijuana.
That's it. That's it. Yes. Yes.
I remember Tijuana because my family drove up for a game from Kansas City. I think it was 12 hours. And I said, when y'all get here, we're going to Tijuana. He said, man, I'm not driving to Tijuana. I drove up here called Tijuana. But they thought they were going to drive to Canada. They didn't drive to Tijuana.
We're getting on a bus. We're going to Tijuana.
We did Tijuana. That was that's you can lose your career being in Tijuana.
Oh,
Tijuana every day. You can lose your career and get caught up in the limelight in the outside of football in Canada.
Yeah, no. Especially in a town like Winnipeg, or where else did you play? I know you played in BC. You played in Winnipeg.
Toronto, Hamilton, Montreal.
Right.
Kansas City.
Very cool. Very cool. Now, Jake had some questions about training camp.
Yeah. So, talking about it a couple weeks ago with the surprise cut of Sean Lemon, that how do you, as a veteran coming into training camp, how different is that from a rookie training camp, or as you're getting older and you're aging out, how much harder is it to get up for those training camp days?
Yeah, as a rookie, you coming in, you have to prove yourself. You have to prove yourself. Even if you had 1,000 touchdowns in college and you come pro, you have to prove yourself that, hey, can you play at this level and do the same thing? And I think that's the competitiveness that you have when you come in as a rookie. Now, when you're a veteran coming in, I've seen so many veterans come in like in helicopters and G5s and limos and some practice, when I was with T.O., he came and what T.O. was going to do when I was in San Fran. What Andre Rising was going to do when I was in Kansas City. So I experienced these so-called prima donna receivers that I played with that kind of rubbed off on me. And as a veteran, you want to kind of set the bar. I know I wanted to set the bar. Like, if any rookie comes in or any free agent comes in, I want to be able to say, hey, this is how you practice, this is how you play, this is how you work in the classroom. I want to be a leader without talking so much. Just lead by example.
Nice.
That was my mentality coming in. It wasn't about, I did this last year. Yeah, you can't. No, we're going to do it more. I never had that mentality. It was about getting the guys on board and reminding them why they're here. And that's to win a championship or put yourself in a position to make the playoffs or better yourself or make the team better. That was my mentality as a veteran. As a rookie, I was worried about trying to be a Hall of Famer my first year.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Go ahead, Jake.
I actually have a question here from someone on Facebook, because I put out the question because it's not every day that someone can ask questions to a pro athlete. Brandon Ulrich asks, who did you dislike playing against? In context, because of how good they were? A defensive back that every time you saw, you just hated to see, or a linebacker, something like that.
Oh, yeah. Now, when I was a rookie with the Kansas City Chiefs, when we had one-on-one drills, there was one guy that I just did never want to go against. And I'm not a scared person. I'm not scared of anybody. But when it came to fundamentals and craft, James Hasty was the most physical cornerback DB veteran that I've ever faced in my life. He's the strongest DB I ever faced. You know who James Hasty is, right? He's probably like 15 years older than me.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, old school DB veteran. Old school, probably didn't wear a mouthpiece, probably, just rough. That's one guy. So he set me my whole life to prepare for any DB that was going to. And the only guy that I can say that was close to that was Chip Cox.
Oh, yeah, okay.
Big, grimy, get in your face type of player. And I hated playing against him. Man, I always had to bring my A-plus game playing against him. And I loved it every time we played Montreal. That's why I hated playing against Montreal, but I loved it at the same time.
Yes. You love it when they make you raise yourself to that A-plus game, right?
That's right.
Yes. Now, did you have I know you can say it now because you're not playing. Who is your favorite quarterback? Who did you think was the best throwing the ball to you?
Okay, I can put them in my top 3 or top 4.
Yeah.
A guy that didn't get that much recognition, who should have because he had trouble reading defenses, is Michael Bishop.
Oh, really?
Michael Bishop would have been a phenomenal quarterback if he knew how to read defenses.
He had an arm on him.
Because he came in for Damon Allen when Damon Allen got hurt. He came in for Kerry Joseph when Kerry Joseph got hurt when I was with the Argonauts.
Yep.
And that's one of the quarterbacks. I wouldn't put him at number 1. He's in the top 3 or 4.
Okay.
Damon Allen is my all-time favorite quarterback.
Really?
I mean, he was just so... He was like a running back playing quarterback, but he had a received mentality of a receiver, so he had all the attributes of a complete football player,
Yeah.
So I had my best years with Damon Allen. And, of course, Kahari Jones. Kahari Jones, I remember being a rookie, and a week before camp, I went to the Canadiens hotel and went to his room, and I asked him, I took my notebook in there, and I said, I'm Arland Bruce. I just want to learn the route tree. Can you tell me what I need to learn and how to run this offense? And ever since then, we gained chemistry, and I wasn't like Milt, but I almost became his number 1 receiver when things got tight. So Kahari Jones, Damon Allen, Michael Bishop. Kevin Glenn is not probably my number 5, but there's another quarterback that I really enjoyed that didn't play that long in the CFL, and that's Eric Crouch.
Eric Crouch? I don't even remember that name.
Yeah, Eric Crouch, former Heisman Trophy winner.
Okay.
He was with Toronto Argonauts. I think he came in we went to quarterback carousel one year.
Oh, gotcha.
Eric Crouch came in. I was a fan of Nebraska and him anyway. And he was also my quarterback. See, I got an opportunity in Toronto to play with so many first-round draft picks.
Well, yeah.
Johnny Mitchell, Ricky Williams, a few other people that came through there. And they thought they were going to just cakewalk through the CFL. I told them guys, y'all think y'all come in here and just put up 1,000 yards rushing and 2,000 yards passing and 6,000 yards, whatever. It's not going to happen. Like, these are real players up here. And I told a lot of guys that came from the NFL to Canada that it's not a cakewalk up here. And a lot of people did thought it was because it was in Canada.
Well, yeah, it's not the NFL, right?
Yeah, I mean, even when I started doing punt returns and 3 downs and they give you 5 yards, I'm like, oh man, this is amazing. This is how football should be played.
No, what was the hardest thing? What was the hardest adjustment for you coming up from playing the 4-down football, coming in with the wider field and the 3 down, the quicker clock?
Yeah, the clock I really didn't pay attention to, but it was the 12 players.
Oh.
So when you first start playing, you're like, hold on. And then when you start playing, you realize, okay, just look at it as an extra DB and an extra receiver.
Yeah.
That's how you manifest it. And then the third down threw me off because when I first got in the league, I'm like, hold on, man. You know, I'm like, who's going back for punt? Like, no, we off the field. We're not going back. So I learned a lot on the run when I first came in the league. And I think that's the best experience when you can learn on the go.
Yes.
Grasp it, you know, like the rules. That's amazing, you know, because I had an opportunity to get in there and punt one time and get ready to kick. So I was like, I never did this in college or in the NFL. We just never did this shit, you know? So there's so many things that make you want to play the game even more. It makes you love football.
Nice.
You know, that's what I love about it. I told my mother, I said, Mom, well, I'm not going to Canton, but maybe I'm going to Hamilton.
Oh, so what did the family think when you told them that you were moving to Canada to play football?
Well, they thought that I was going to just go up there for a little bit and come back. Because when I did go back, you know, because the season goes from June to November.
Right.
So when I played for Kansas City, I would always go back in November, and I would still have my Kansas City Chiefs pass. So I'd park with the players' park, still go through the tunnel, have my pass. I could still go on the sidelines. So they were like, when you going to come back and be on the team? You know, because you're doing all this in the off season. But I was training in the off season when Christmas was over. I had a personal trainer for 10 years.
Oh, very cool.
I just love the environment. I just love the way people show love to you in Canada. And you wasn't getting that love. And you know, our preseason games, you suck, you'll never make the team. You know, that's what you hear when you go to the locker room. You're not hearing, hey, come back next year, we love you, man. Tell us what everybody, you know, it's like harsh. You know, it's like really like cutthroat, you know what I'm saying?
Oh, yeah.
People are cut for it. I'm cut for it, but I know what type of player it was. I was getting criticized on stuff that I didn't even never practiced before, you know? So it was like, I need to take a step back and play where I'm loved. And see, my dad told me a long time ago, he said, go for the person that likes you. Because if you go for the person you like, it's going to be tough to get what you want them to do. So I go for the country that like me.
That's
and
cool.
Everybody loves me. Don Matthews, Dave Ritchie, who else? Adam Rita.
Oh, Adam Rita. There's a name from the past.
Adam Rita and Pinball Clemens, when I got released from the San Francisco 49ers in 2003, called my agent, Angelo Wright at the time, and it was like 1 a.m, and we got the deal done.
Wow.
In 2004, and then I drove from Kansas City to Toronto, and we won a Grey Cup that year.
That is so cool.
I have a lot of great memories in the CFL more than the NFL.
Yeah, of course.
I have no problem saying that. You know.
Now, let's talk about the real Arland Bruce III.
Yeah.
I'm old enough. I remember how exciting it was, and it didn't matter who you were playing for, whether it be Toronto. Of course, I loved you when you were on BC more. We talked about this, but you got yourself into a little bit of controversy on some touchdown celebrations that weren't as allowed back then as they are now.
Yeah.
So what was the first one? Was the first one the Spider-Man?
The Spider-Man was one of them.
Yeah.
I don't know which one was the first one. I think when there was a car, I remember I got fined. There was a car in the end zone. I think this was 2006 when Ricky Williams was on the team.
Okay.
They had a 300 Dodge Chrysler in the end zone, shiny red Chrysler. And I scored a touchdown. I went and posed by it, and the whole team came and posed by it after I did. I got fined for that. Because I was using a prop.
Oh,
For
no.
the Spider-Man mascot. It was like $2,500, $4,000, $4,500. These are big fines, because I guess if you do it once, you get double the next time. So it's
Ow.
like multiple offenses. So they add up. So, and then when I took my pads off and did the bury me in the end zone celebration of Michael Jackson, that was another fine. And,
For having fun.
and then I go to Hamilton, and they do this celebration. They jump in a boat. They get out. You remember that? They went to Winnipeg and jumped in a boat.
Yes. Unbelievable.
So
Well,
now,
now
all these leagues, they telling them, hey guys, this is what we're going to do after we score. You know what I mean? There's a league about it.
Well, yeah. Well, did you not ask a coach, or did a coach not tell you to do whatever you wanted once you've got across that goal line?
Mark Andrews.
Damn it, and you still got fined.
Still got fined. Couldn't do nothing about it. But I don't know. I guess that was just where the game was then. I think it's evolved now. You can do whatever you want to. You can go build a whole garage in the end zone now.
Well, they're jumping up into the crowd. I mean, that's what it should be like. You just scored a damn touchdown.
That's what they play for us. Entertainment has always been Andre Rison. That's like my big brother. He taught me how to be a complete receiver.
Nice.
And the offensive coordinator that I had at Kansas City and the receiver coach, Richard Mann, he's one of the greatest receiver coaches I ever had to be a part of. And Jimmy Ray, old-time offensive coordinator. These guys really showed me how to play the game of football. Talking about Andre Rison, just not being a 6'5", 6'3", 6-foot guy, but still being able to carry your weight and do big things as a 5'9", 5'10" receiver.
Is that you're 5'9" or
5'10"?
5'10"?
5'9" on a bad day.
On game day, I'm 6'3".
That's what I always told my police and Ken Austin. If game day coach, I'm 6'3" in the red zone.
That's awesome. Go ahead, Jake. You had a question.
Well, yeah, I was going to say, now that, I mean, we touched on it. It's been 10 years since you laced up the cleats. What have you been up to in the meantime? I mean, you touched on it. You were up in Edmonton for a little bit, but.
Oh, let me tell you, man, in 2014, I had a tough time, like, living. It was bad for me, man. I was dealing with extreme headaches to sunlight. It was bad for me. It's going to be tough for me to talk about this, but I will. I was dealing with headaches, extreme headaches, throwing up. I would get up every day and walk for like 4 or 5 miles, just aimlessly walking, not crazy, but just walking to think the headaches would go away. And then I went to my doctor. I got pills prescribed to me, sleeping pills.
Yeah.
Because that would help me sleep. Take away the headaches. I was taking sleeping pills like I'd wake up in the morning, walk all day, and then come home, eat, and take a sleeping pill and sleep all day because my headaches were that bad.
Wow.
It was tough for me. And then a couple months later, I ended up walking. I was walking on the highway. My headaches were so bad. I was walking on the highway, and I almost got hit on the highway, man, because I was dealing with these headaches. I couldn't explain what I was going through. I felt like I was getting electrocuted.
Oh, wow.
They thought I was going crazy when I told them I felt like I'm being electrocuted when I told the doctors this. So they thought something was wrong with me. But I was explaining to them that I used to play football, and I had a head injury, and I'm having these severe headaches. I don't know what's going on with me. So they tried to put me on a bunch of medications. Like, I don't know what type of medication. The first couple of days I was taking the meds, And then one day I just woke up and I snapped out of it, man. And it was like 5 different pills. I just flushed them down the stool. And that day I flushed them, man, I just came back to myself.
Nice.
And I talked to the doctors. I explained to them, because they didn't know me from nowhere. They had no idea who I was. They thought I was just, somebody that lost his mind.
Yeah.
So, I went through this rehabilitation process for the last 3-4 years. It was tough for me. And in the last few years, man, I'm just coming back to myself, man. I've been playing ball, exercising. I was living in Edmonton for a while doing security. My children are out there. I visit them. I got some connections out there with the Arctic Chiller.
Yes.
I do some businesses with the Arctic Chiller, the water company. I also work with a diamond and jewelry company where I was working with the River Creek Casino. We were going to make their rings for them for their tournaments.
Oh, very cool.
Rain of diamonds. We have over 2.5 million diamonds in inventory in Sherwood Park, the company I work with. So we were going to make their rings for the tournament. They had like 120 players. We were going to make their rings. I actually spoke to them today. They're kind of trying to reconsider because they went to Turkey to get their rings. And we have a firm in Sherwood Park.
Nice.
And then also now I'm working with World Financial Group. I'm working to become a senior marketing director, which is, once I get my license, I'll be able to, educate on finances and building, financial services for people in insurance and things like that. That's my main goal and project that I'm working on now.
That is very cool.
I have a mentor who's out of Edmonton, who's a former RCMP. So he's my broker and my mentor right now, who's getting me lined up and get me to become an agent. And once I become an agent, Mr. Hughes, we gotta take this to another level.
Then we need to talk.
So
No.
one of my guys that I work with that's in the World Financial Group is Marshall Falk. Me and Marshall Falk talked today.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so he's also a mentor for me as well.
That's a good mentor to have.
Definitely. We
Definitely.
didn't even talk football. We just talk business and talk about the business and how I can grow it, and it's my own business, and
That's the way to do it.
So this is like getting ready for another rookie season.
Yeah, no doubt. Now I'm going to take you back. I know you said it was tough to talk about, but I'm going to take you back there anyway. To the concussions. Was there one specific hit, or was there one incident that you can say this is what had happened, or was it a communication, a culmination of a bunch?
I think it was a bunch that finally said, okay, that's it. If you're getting hit in your stomach 5, 6, 7 times, maybe the 10th one might bring you to your knees.
Right.
Hit that I had, it was in Saskatchewan. Actually watching the video, I don't remember what happened, but watching the video, it kind of brings me back. As I have the video, I'd probably watch it over 30 times. So it was an incident where I went up in the air and I got an undercut.
Oh.
And landed on my head.
Nasty.
I was knocked out for a couple minutes. Yeah.
Was that the only time you were knocked out on the field?
Yeah, I've never been knocked out like that ever.
That's scary. Because, back in the day, when you got your bell rung playing football, it was your coach looked at you and said, suck it up, get back out there.
Yeah, that's right. Well, I've never experienced that. I've never been knocked unconscious. I've had my bell rung where you're like, wow, on a block or a tackle or something like that. But to be knocked out, laid around, and wake up and not know where you at and not knowing what's going on, that's never happened. I can't even. I wouldn't wish that upon nobody, man.
That's got to be scary.
Yeah.
That's got to be scary. Now, I remember, what year was it that you actually tried to take the league to court regarding this? What year was that?
Yeah, that was about 8 years ago.
Was it 8 years ago? Yeah.
7, 8 years ago. Yeah.
Now, I know you and I talked about this off air, but I look at your record and I look at the Canadian Football Hall of Fame, and I think, how the heck is an Arland Bruce III not in the Hall of Fame? I mean, there's only, 14 or 15 other receivers that have accomplished what you have. 2 Grey Cups, 8 All-Stars. Is it 8?
I'm not sure.
Something like that. And over 10,000 yards total receiving. Like, has anybody...
My favorite thing is the touchdown. Because you got to work hard to get a touchdown. It's hard to score a touchdown. People don't understand that. It's hard to get in the end zone. I don't care what league you're in.
That's awesome. That is awesome. Has anybody ever talked to you about the Hall of Fame? Have they ever brought it up?
You know what? I don't think anybody knows how to get in touch with me.
Really?
I'm not on Facebook. I'm not really on social media because all my social media has been hacked.
Oh.
So I have Instagram that I just started about 3 months ago. Just slowly generating. Oh, he's on that because I'm not on any other social media but Twitter and Instagram.
See, I friended you on Facebook and you didn't friend me back, and I was like, well, the jerk. He didn't.
And you.
I keep getting messages. I got 30 messages. I can't even get in there and check it. I don't want to anyway, really. Sorry.
No, it's good. It's good. Go ahead, Jake.
If the conversation was brought up to you now that people know you're on Instagram, someone can get in touch. Is it something you would consider going into the Hall of Fame?
Actually, you know what? Whether they induct me in 10 years, 5 years, a month, I want to get back to this country. Yeah. I plan on having my family come visit this beautiful country, whether it's in Edmonton, Vancouver, Toronto, Hamilton, Montreal, all the cities I played and all the cities that I didn't play.
Yeah.
You know, during the Corona, COVID, or whenever the pandemic, I actually went to 5 different stadiums just to tour them. I went to Hamilton Stadium.
Nice.
I went to Montreal Stadium. I went to Calgary Stadium. Went to BC Stadium, and drove and just was like, yeah, you know, this is what brought me to Canada. These stadiums, this energy. Labor Day Classics in Saskatchewan.
Oh.
Banjo Bowls in Winnipeg. You know what I mean? Ticats Arcos. I mean, there's so many memories that I'll never forget. You know, these go back to like my high school days. People always talk about their high school days, but this trumps that to me.
Nice.
Because it was so fun. I could be myself and play football and give back to the people. Even when I was in Hamilton, I used to go to the sick kids' hospitals. I used to enjoy doing that, you know, giving them a memorabilia or a football or a T-shirt. You know, those are the things I like doing because growing up, I used to work with mental challenged people and mentally challenged people and Special Olympics. That was fun for me.
That's awesome.
And that's what I'm going to do now when I'm 50, 55 in this country.
Very cool. Now, you told me a story. I don't know if we can go into it or not, but you got recognized somewhere and you got to sign some autographs.
Oh yeah, so I went to my kids' elementary school, and these kids ran up to me like, "That's Arland Bruce, a football player." It was about 50 kids.
That is so cool.
That's awesome.
The principal came up to me. She said, "I'm so sorry. The word got out that you was coming to pick up your kid." And the parents said, "Did you know there's a football player there?" And then, so the kids got out and they came with their Sharpies. It was exciting. I loved it, man. It made my heart drop. Because I wasn't expecting that, so it made it even sweeter.
Nice.
And then they were asking my kids for their autographs, so my kids were superstars now. So that was cool, man. And actually, I'm going to do a football camp for them once we get the day situated for about 300 kids.
That is
awesome.
Very cool.
Yeah.
Now, Arland, one last question I have, and this is actually a request of the Brandon Ulrich, who commented on Facebook. where is your favorite place to eat? Anywhere in North America, what is your favorite place to eat, and what is your go-to meal?
Okay. When I was in Toronto, my favorite place to eat was Ruth Chris.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
That's like a good steak a day before the game. That's what I used to do in Toronto. I'd go to Ruth Chris right there in Mississauga, and I stayed near Square One.
Okay.
So I'd go to Ruth Chris and have a nice steak, or I'd have lamb, and that helped me fuel me for the game the next day.
Nice.
But my favorite food to me is lasagna.
Oh,
I make lasagna. That's my favorite dish.
Nice. We're going to Vancouver, Jake. We're gonna have lasagna with Arland Bruce.
Yeah, 3-layer lasagna. I can make it for you.
There you go.
Dessert will have pecan pie or apple pie with Cool Whip on it.
Nice. Jake, we're in.
We have lasagna with corn and green beans, or corn, green beans, and broccoli, whatever you choose.
That's awesome. Now, any plans to get into coaching?
You know what? Like I said, no one's reached out to me. I would love to get into coaching and share my knowledge of the game and share, my experience to these younger kids. Sometimes I see these kids, I'm like, man, I'm 45 years old. They're like, man, I thought you were 22, 45. I said, yeah, man. I'm rehabilitated. I'm Arland Bruce III 3.0 right now.
That's awesome.
So, I would love to get into coaching, man. I don't know about like an offensive coordinator or nothing like that. Maybe a general manager position or a scouting position.
Or receivers coach.
People like kids.
Oh, yeah. That's what you need to be doing out in BC somewhere.
Well, I know, speaking from experience, I used to play, and we used to have, what was his name? Pee Wee Smith come to practice he'd show up maybe once a season, twice a season, but it was the highlight of our entire year, because he'd come out and just throw the ball around, talk with us, and literally just give us, hey, when you're running that route, pull your hip this way to open yourself up instead of doing whatever you're doing. Little things like that. It means a lot, especially to the kids coming up, to have someone come out and say, hey, like, again, Arland Bruce III came to my practice. That'd be huge.
Huge.
Well, when I was in Toronto, I used to go out to Rob Ford School with Don Bosco. He was a head coach for the high school in Toronto. So I used to go out there, give him shoes, play catch with them, talk about football. Rob Ford, right? The former mayor?
Yep.
Yeah.
Out in Toronto.
So I used to go out to their schools all the time. But I love going out to different schools. And
that is cool.
somebody that's looking for somebody to come out in BC or Edmonton to come out to their schools and talk to the kids. I know they're about to get out of school. But I'm open, man. That's what I love to do.
Well, then, people, if you know somebody who wants if you know somebody involved in football out in the BC area, especially around the Vancouver Lower Mainland area, if you can't get a hold of Arland, get a hold of me, and I can put you on to Arland Bruce III for sure. Mr. Bruce, I know you need to get going because you have a basketball game to play.
Yeah, I do, just to stay in shape. I'm not trying to go to the CEBL or the stay in shape. Just to stay Arland Bruce 3.0. I've been through it a lot in the last 6-7 years, so I'm just thankful to be alive every day and be able to do something that I love, and that's stay in shape.
That's cool. Great. Sir, thank you so much for taking the time. I appreciate you, and let's keep in touch.
Okay, Mr. Hughes, I appreciate y'all. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Arland.
Okay, thank you.
That was the legend, the CFL legend that we had on for 45 minutes of unfiltered talking. And it was great. And again, appreciation out to Arland for taking the time, because you can tell he has a passion for talking about football and everything.
Oh, did you hear it in his voice when he talked about it? He literally, you could hear him getting emotional. You could hear the passion, the excitement he had when he when he was talking about the different times he played here or played there. I was kind of worried when we kind of brought up the concussion, because I know that's a very tender, soft topic for him, obviously. So I really appreciate him taking the time, and man, that was cool.
And for the fans, like, to get an insight of someone who literally had to stop playing due to concussions.
Like he said, he's not retired.
He's not retired. Technically, has never retired, because in 2014, I guarantee you, if he didn't have those concussions, he would have still played.
Oh, yeah.
Right? Like 2 years off of being a Grey Cup champion.
Just so you know, guys, we did plan on having Arland via video call, but unfortunately, technical issues happened, and so we kind of scrambled at the last minute. And hey, I hope everybody appreciated his comments and enjoyed the insightful stories. I love his stories. His stories just they make me smile.
Well, and it's little things that we as fans want to know.
Yes.
How did you get involved with CFL? Oh, Warren Moon. Yeah, just Warren Moon.
Warren, we're on a phone call, It's like I gotta love it.
Yeah, it's wild, and again, appreciate his time for coming on. Everyone, because before we get to the score in the hockey game, you can check out hughesports.ca. You can check out all sorts of articles, news, updates coming there. There will be a new article posted by one of us this week. Notice the awkward pause there. We are we're going to be expanding some articles, doing some more stuff, I think, on that side of things. So look out for that.
It'll be good.
Update in the Stanley Cup final. It is 5 minutes left in the second period, and there's 4-0 for the Vegas Golden Knights.
Oh, yuck.
It's not great.
Anybody who started watching this from the very beginning, and you saw the old man here ranting about, if they win a cup before the Canucks, I have no words. I was talking about the Golden Knights.
Yep. And they are now, there's still plenty of time to play, and we know the Panthers don't give up.
No.
They're about to take a 2-0 lead in the Stanley Cup playoffs.
And that's almost insurmountable.
No, not even close.
You don't think so?
No. As a fan who's experienced it firsthand, not even close.
That's funny.
Staying on the topic of hockey. Because we jumped on a bit early to make sure to iron out any wrinkles I didn't have a chance to throw it in our lovely rundown and pass it by you to discuss it. But Gary Bettman announced the salary cap is only going up $1 million.
Which is a hell of a lot of money to you or I.
Yeah, but to an organization where you're already $660,000 over the cap space. Let me say that again. $660,000 over the cap space.
That's him,
and
guys.
You are in the draft lottery. The only solution at this point, the only absolute solution is you have to buy out OEL, right?
Yes. Now, he did say, it's only $1 million for 2023, 2024. Yeah. But there could be a substantial bump in the 24-25 season.
But they said that last year too.
No, they didn't really say a substantial.
Yeah, no. Go back and read his comments from last year. There should be a substantial increase to 22-23.
So this is like the old weatherman.
23-24.
This is like the old weatherman thing is day 7 of this forecast is always the best day.
Yeah, of course. And it's a 2% chance of actually happening. Now there are players that you couldn't predict, like a lot of the regional sports networks that have private contracts with the NHL teams going under really hurt. There's a bunch of them that committed bankruptcy or declared bankruptcy, and it's the same thing. So there's things that are outside of the control of Gary Bettman and the NHL office, but it's still disappointing that there's not going to be any increase to the cap.
Yeah. It is what it is.
Yeah. We need to see and wait and see what Patrick Alvin and Jim Rutherford are doing. They did make a minor trade. I don't know if you saw with Boston. Literally, 2 AHL players traded.
No,
actually, I think it was future considerations for an AHL player, so nothing major. But
okay.
Let's pivot back to football, seeing as we spent the first 45 minutes on it.
Yeah.
This week,
the start, man. It's the start.
This week is the official first week in a mere 3 days. Thursday, the day we used to do this podcast. The reason we moved it to Monday.
Yes.
We're going to be sitting right now at McMahon Stadium watching Vernon Adams Jr. hopefully lead the BC Lions to success against.
Yes, we're going to be sitting at the 55-yard line, 5 rows up from the Stampeders bench. 5? Yeah, 5 rows up from the Stampeders bench. I love the first week, leading up to the first week of the CFL, because even the Elk fans are getting excited. Hell, I read a post today on one of my CFL Facebook groups, and somebody said, well, the last time the Riders won both their preseason games, they went to the Grey Cup. And I was like, oh my God, I love the beginning of CFL season. Even Rider fans excited. And then, of course, you got the Smurf Mafia, the Diaz Beacon. Anybody who doesn't know, the Smurf Mafia has replaced the Rider fan. And we might add, we have a couple really important Rider fans watching tonight. We have my cousin, my nephew, your cousin, my nephew, your cousin, Mr. Dean Ozen, and his dad, Mr.
Former brother-in-law?
I was trying to figure out how to say that. My brother-in-law and your uncle, Uncle Keith, who are the diehard Rider fans. They tuned in tonight. They came out for a visit this afternoon, and they tuned in tonight. Had to give them a shout out.
Now, there's a little bit of drama today coming out of the BC Lions.
I was waiting for you to bring this up.
I didn't want to get in. I didn't want to get into it with. I didn't want to get into it with Arland. Because A, I didn't know if he knew what was going on, and B, put him on the spot is a bad idea.
He would know what's going on, but yeah, you're probably right. He's got to stay somewhat
impartial, which is fair, right? So, Farhan Lalji 10 hours ago tweeted out, I'm told it was announced earlier, about an hour before that Jonathan Kongbo had been traded to Hamilton, and the return on that was the original pick that we had traded to Hamilton for the Dane Evans trade. So basically, we got Dane Evans for free, which is great. That as a management group, that looks fantastic. Don't roll your eyes at me. Getting a backup quarterback who knows how to run an offense.
I'm going to go with this. You know where I'm going to go with this.
So I'm told Kongbo was not a fit in the room, and it was important for BC Lions to get back the chemistry they had before the trade. This deal eliminates what was going back to Ticats and the Dane Evans deal. Now, the big thing here, that's not the drama. That's a normal everyday thing. Jonathan Kongbo, 2 hours later, quote tweets it and puts, not a fit because I called out star players for not showing up at practice and guys not wanting to work out. Culture matters. It's called pro football for a reason.
And then
let's open this up here now.
Thatcher, Keon.
I'm going through a bunch of these retweets right now. I'm trying to find them because I didn't have it up ready to go.
It was I've got it on because I sent it to you.
Yeah, I just want to get the wording right.
Keon Hatcher, I said Thatcher. Keon Hatcher, he retweets it and says, "But you quit. Very pro of you, my boy."
And then
Brian, you sure them feelings wasn't hurt because you wasn't in the rotation like that? There's a hidden story in behind this.
Brian Burnham, I don't know if you saw this one.
I did. I sent that to you.
No, I sent that one to you.
Oh.
just put out a GIF of and if you know GIFs at all, it's just a kid staring blankly and just blinking his eyes. So 2 players who I would call star players on the BC Lions basically was like, yeah, you can talk like that. When do Hamilton and BC meet?
I don't know. I was going to look that up. Hell of a game now. There's going to be a little bit of
animosity.
Oh, just a tad.
If I'm Hamilton, even if Kongbo isn't normally in your starting lineup,
you put him in.
I put him in, and not just that, I'm blitzing him on the first play.
Oh, gosh.
I'm sending him full speed ahead at the quarterback.
So we play in Ticats play in BC on August 26th.
That's not till August.
Yeah. So let's get that Twitter war. Keep that Twitter war going and see what happens in August. So let's go back now. So let's refresh our memories. I wrote an article about how great it was that the BC Lions picked up Sean Lemon, defensive end, one of the best in the league, in my opinion. And literally before Jake was able to post that article, within 24 hours, 48 hours, whatever it was, they cut him.
Yep.
And literally, like, I was watching his Twitter feed, and he's like, I'm having the best training camp I've ever had. And they cut him. And then it came out the news, we got Kabongo. Kabongo. And I was like, oh, okay. Well, that's okay. That's not bad. A Canadian defensive end. Cool. He's a Canadian.
Who also played in the NFL or got a couple sniffs in the NFL. Hey, that's positive.
Damn good player. Damn good player. And then when I saw that today, I was like, what the actual beep? So now we don't have Lemon. We don't have this Kabongo. And I don't even know. What are they doing? What's going on in BC? Like, is there an issue in the locker room? Is it a coaching issue? Is there an issue, or was this just blown out of proportion?
No, I think there could be a multitude of different answers to that, and I think it depends with how much back and forth there is, and the fact that Kongbo decided to go and tweet at Farhan about this. There's no such thing as only one side of the truth. There's always 2 sides of the truth. Now,
there's usually 3. There's usually his, and then the real truth.
And usually, if you listen to both sides of the story, it's somewhere in the middle.
Yeah.
So, was Kongbo upset he wasn't getting first line minutes or first line reps? Probably. Was he mad that he felt that some, and he didn't even say all, he just said some.
Yep.
Players showed up right on time for practice and wasn't the first guy in. And like Arland said, he was there to set the bar, not just be there.
Yes, but he set the bar. And I love that you had to listen to what Arland said. He said, I did it without doing a lot of talking.
No.
I did it on the field and in the classroom and in the locker room by my actions.
And maybe that's the same sort of thing that Kongbo's looking at, where other guys are like, well, no, like, I'm a superstar. Like, I'm a star. I've already gotten the starting position. I'm not a rookie. I don't need to be here at the crack of dawn.
Yeah.
And if that's the way the Lions organization is okay with it, that's fine.
Yes.
They're allowed to run their organization however they want. But you're going to have problems bringing in talent like Kongbo, like someone like Arland Bruce, if that is the situation. And again, I'm just going off of, you hear both sides of the story. I'm finding a middle ground somewhere.
Well, exactly. Well, where did he come from, Kongbo?
He was cut from an NFL roster. Let me pull it up here.
Was he not in Winnipeg?
He played for the Blue Bombers in 2021.
Okay, yeah.
Then he was with the Broncos 2022 on the practice squad and then on the regular squad. And so played 1 year at Winnipeg. And there was, sorry, I want to go back because I saw this, but I was looking for something else.
Sorry, I'm just reading up one of my go-to for any CFL. You guys, if you're a big CFL fan and you like to read, 3 Down Nation or their podcast, 3 Down Nation podcast, probably Justin Dunk and John Hodge probably are the most respected in my life or my view reporters out there right now. Check them out, 3 Down Nation. Incredible. They just put out an article about it here, and I'm just kind of briefing over it, and it's not really telling me more than what we know from Twitter. They're just kind of rehashing what happened on Twitter. So it'll be interesting. It'll be interesting what happens. But the Lions they're reporting here that the Lions have a deep group of Canadian defensive ends. So that's big because they still got Archibald, Menard, and Betts. So if you're not going to fit in, there's the door, I guess.
So, and also this is the one I was looking for. Milt Stiegel tweeted out when Farhan so during the whole drama of everything, I've been in locker rooms with many guys who were not a fit in the room. What allowed these players to continue playing? Talent. I'm not implying anything, just speaking on my experiences and dealing with players who were not a fit in the room.
Yeah.
So obviously he's saying there's talent there because someone still wants him to come to their team, but sometimes chemistry doesn't work.
Yes, exactly. And you know what? We don't know what happened. We're just
and we probably will never know what exactly happened because the Lions organization is going to be like, yeah, it wasn't a fit. He's gonna say what he says, and it's just gonna go in a circle.
So it's getting late here. So we got the BC game on Thursday.
Yes.
Sorry, I'm bringing up the schedule here. If you have it up,
we have the Lions and Stampeders Thursday, June 8th at 7 p.m. Then we have Friday, June 9th, the Ticats and the Blue Bombers. You know what? Let's time out. No. We're gonna rewind here. Let's do our predictions.
Yes,
on the air here, as we're going through. So first game, Lions, Stampeders, June 8th, 7 p.m.
Well, actually, yeah. Is that the first game?
That's the first game.
Okay. Yep. So, of course, I'm picking BC over Calgary.
Yeah. BC, I think it's going to be a close game. I think it's
always a close game with BC Calgary.
Yep. I think Vernon Adams is going to be able to outrun and not north-south, but east-west, get around the defensive line of Calgary.
Yeah.
Sorry?
Definitely. I agree.
Yeah. Then we have Ticats and Blue Bombers Friday, June 9th at 6:30. So we have a Thursday, Friday. I just realized this. We have a Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday game this week. Let's go.
So excited.
So Friday, we have the Tiger Cats versus the Blue Bombers.
Now, this one's interesting. I took Winnipeg.
I didn't. I went with
thinking Hamilton might be able to, because he's good. When I say he, we know we're talking Bo Levi.
Four down Bo.
Huh?
4 down Bo.
Yeah, 4 down Bo. He's going to have a bit of a burr in his saddle, I'll say, and he might come out but I'm still taking Winnipeg on that one. You're taking.
I'm taking the Tiger Cats.
I think
the Blue Bombers, and there's no history of this because it's a brand new season, but the Bombers might come out slacking a little bit because it's Hamilton.
Oh, I see what you're saying. I'm thinking they're going to be ready because
I don't know
business.
Saturday game.
It's going to be a good game.
It's definitely going to be a good game. One I'm looking forward to actually watching.
Yes.
Saturday, we have the Red Blacks versus the Alouettes.
I'm going to take Montreal.
I don't remember who I chose on the CFL Pick'em, which I have tweeted out. So if you're listening to this and you want to join, please do. We're not putting anything on stake. We're just having fun seeing who can beat us, if anyone. I think I chose the Alouettes. I don't remember.
Oh, okay.
Either way, this isn't a marquee game for a Saturday for me. If I was the league, I would have been more focused on putting the Lions Stampeders on the Saturday.
Or Hamilton Winnipeg.
Because
I agree.
the Saturday night game is going to be hard this early to summer, especially when it's so nice out across the nation.
Yeah.
Then Sunday, to wrap everything up, we got the Rough Riders and the Elks.
Okay, I'm not excited that it's the Rough Riders and Elks. Okay, that's not what I'm getting excited about. Who are you taking on this one?
I took the Elks.
Did you?
I think, and I'm going to say this for the record, I think the Elks are going to finish in a playoff position this year.
Interesting. Well, I took Saskatchewan, but for the first time ever, I get to check off a bucket list item that I've always wanted to do. And
that is?
Me and Mr. Rod Peterson are going to drive to Edmonton that day and take in the game, and I get to sit in the press box.
Super cool.
It sounds so silly. Here's a 58-year-old fat old guy, and he's like, I'm excited about going to a football game, and I get to sit in the press box.
Not just that, but you're excited to go to Edmonton.
Yeah, exactly. I think this is the guaranteed win game too, by the way, for the Elks.
If the Elks don't win, they're giving away season tickets.
No, you get another ticket, I think. I forget how it works.
I think that's how it works. I mean, you might as well give away season tickets because you're not going to get a lot of fans. Look, they did not have a great season last year,
or the year before,
or the year before. But that's why I'm thinking things can change.
So
things have cycles.
I am going to be taking some pictures. I am even going to try to get an interview, maybe.
If you do, we'll air it here live, and then we'll be able to come back and talk about it.
Yes, it might just be audio. It could be video, but I think it might just be audio. But we'll see.
That's fine.
We'll see what happens. We'll have to see how it goes.
Play by ear, and
yeah, I'm excited about it though. I'm pretty happy that I get to do this. So thanks.
So
Rod.
for everyone who wants to keep up to date with what's going on, if he gets an interview or not, you can find us at HSP_pod on Twitter, HSP_pod on Facebook. You can follow the old man at Kev Hughes 64 on Twitter. You can follow me at JStreams on Twitter. And one of those places will definitely have updates about what's going on.
Go live on, I wouldn't be able to do it on Twitter, but I might be able to do it on Facebook when I'm there. We'll see. We'll see how it goes. Guys, this has been one of my favorite episodes so far. To have such a, again, a living frickin' legend of Arland Bruce III to come on our show.
And again, like it was very glossed over. I asked him point blank, if you get a call from the Hall of Fame, would you consider it? And he said, I really don't care. He cares more about giving back to the communities that gave him the opportunity to play football professionally. That's the type of man he is.
But I can guarantee you he would jump on that Hall of Fame. Nobody says the Hall of Fame.
That's why I asked the question point blankly.
Reach out to him. He's on Instagram, guys. Let's boost Arland. Let him know how much he's loved, and especially if you're from Vancouver and you remember the 2011 where he helped win us a Grey Cup. Reach out to him. Send him a message. Tweet him, or no, he's not on Twitter. You can always comment on our page, and I'll make sure he gets it as well.
And
Jake,
again,
great.
Before you throw, you to hold it up here. One second.
God.
I know you've been trying to leave for like 10 minutes. It's fine. It's my show, and I'm going to end it when I want to end it. So, if you're in the Lower Mainland area, Vancouver, and you're associated with football in any shape, way, or form, reach out to us. I would love to get Arland back into the fold in football. Again, even if it's just going out and saying hey to the kids.
Yes.
Having Pee Wee Smith come out to games or come out to practices just to hang out and teach us. We used to always play it with him. Grip challenge.
Yeah.
You grab the ball on either end, hold it. There's no one ever beat him.
But
everyone had to try. No, he would engulf the ball. No chance. But
Pee Wee's it was a kind of an oxymoron.
Yeah, the guy was giant. But that is us for this episode of the Hughes Sports Podcast. We are a presentation of Inside the Rink. Do check us out on hughesports.ca as well. Lots of articles, lots of news. Thank you so much, and we will see you here next week.